Hey guys, what is up? So I wanted to make this quick tutorial because I've been playing around with Niagara, trying to learn some things. And I'm definitely not an FX guy, but I've got this cool little rain effect that I was able to make. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a basic rain particle in Niagara. So that's what we'll do here. As you can see, I just got the guy here. I'm in another project here. This project doesn't have anything. So what I want to do is I'm just going to make a new folder called rain. And the first thing we have to do is we actually have to create a material here called material rain. Now this is a very simple rain material I have found just from other videos and things like that. But what you want to do is you want to right click and do particle color. This lets us get some data here. And then we want to take the rain actual material here and change it to translucent. And now what we can do is we just plug in the RGB channel to the emissive color here. And then the alpha channel, we actually get a multiply here. Plug it into opacity. And then out of this guy, we can get what's called a radial gradient exponential. This is just a macro that comes with the engine. If I turn this on like a square, you can see what it does. That's what this thing is doing. It's making the black disappear, so we just have this gradient here. You can look at it in a plane here. And yeah, so this will kind of be like the outline for the rain. But then, we'll scale it, or we'll basically squeeze it and make it look long. So it'll look like a raindrop, even though it's really just like a very elongated, stretched out sphere. So just save that. And that is it for the material. And now we have to actually set up the Niagara particle system. So if you've never used the Niagara particle system, it can be pretty confusing. It's not like the old system where you just get a particle system here and then you just edit the particle system. You have to go into FX here and you have all this different stuff. So it's just like, oh my God, what do I do with all this stuff? Fortunately, all we really need is this Niagara emitter. So you make that first and do this one, new emitter from a template. We want that. And then we're going to do this fountain, this looping fountain spray. They have other ones here as well, but I haven't really messed with them too much. This one's really good if you have if you want to kind of do like an explosion and you have like mesh pieces that you can launch up. This would work for that. But we'll do this one. So do finish and we'll type rain underscore emitter. Now with this made, we can open it up and you get this guy here. Okay, so this is the new Niagara editor, and it keeps changing. Like every engine version, it keeps getting different, and the documentation is really not that good. I was looking through it. I was trying to find some things on the collision and all that, but there's nothing for it. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully there'll be more stuff in the future. So what we do here is we scroll down. And you could actually use this default sprite material if you want. I believe it's really similar to what we have. It's close, it's pretty similar. This one is 60 instructions. The one we made is 91. So because we're using this thing here, so it might actually be better just to use the default sprite material, but it doesn't matter. You could take this one and plug it in. I'll just plug it in because we made it. So. But you could always use a default one if you want. It's just compiling. In a minute, it'll be done. There it goes. So, what do we do first, right? We got this big thing here. You have a choice here at the top. Well, here, let me kind of explain how it works. So, like, these are like categories, basically. These things here. And in the old system, in the old particle editor, you would right-click and add things. In this one, you kind of click the plus sign and then you have to search for things to add. So that was for particle spawn. For particle update, there's more things here to add. We got like camera offset, colors, events. You can do events in this thing, which is really cool. Gravity forces, just all sorts of things. Wind force, there's acceleration force, which we actually might use, but I'm gonna wait till we get down there. You got event handlers as well, so you can have multiple emitters in the actual Niagara. We're not going to make that yet, we'll make that later, but you make this Niagara system, then you can add different emitters to it. And so if you have multiple emitters, you can have certain emitters spawn based off of events here, which is really cool. But we're just trying to make a very simple rain system in Niagara instead of the old Cascade system. So let's just edit these properties here. Now, I'll keep it on CPU for now, but I know that you can also do it with GPU. I'll show you both. But I'm going to keep it like this for now. And let's just go down, emitter state. I'm going to keep it like this because we're just going to loop for like 2 seconds. That's fine. You could even do 1 second if you wanted. But yeah, so it's not a big deal. You just keep it like that. And then spawn rate, this is the number of particles you're going to spawn. So we're going to do a lot more than 100, but I'll wait till we get there. Okay, so let's just go down to initialize particle. Now this is a lifetime. I'm just going to do 1 to 2. You have the mass, the color. Color doesn't really matter too much. If you do 0 on the alpha, it'll disappear, of course, but you do like 0.1. So 0.1 is probably a good color for rain, but we can always adjust this if we really can't see it. And then the size here, this is where we can like elongate it, right? So we do 1 by like 25. So it's really stretched out. And I know it looks weird right now, but we'll fix that. So that's good for the size. Now we can go for the sphere location here. So here's really where it kind of gets bigger. So if you set this to like 500, then it's gonna be really spread out. Okay, so it looks weird, I know. But now we'll do some velocity here. So I'm actually gonna delete this add velocity in cone. I'm gonna delete it. Instead, I'm gonna click the plus sign. I'm gonna type in velocity. We just want regular velocity. And in the old Cascade editor, it has like a minimum and a maximum value. This doesn't have that, and I'm not sure exactly how it works, like how you get the minimum and the maximum, or like I just can't find it, so I'm just not sure. But I was just messing around with this, and the velocity will do something like -12. So this makes it start to fall. And then in the scale, I'm gonna do 100. So now it's falling fast. Okay, so we'll save that. Now we can come down, particle state, kill particles when lifetime has elapsed, true. Gravity force, -980. We can bump that up in a bit. Drag 0.25, that's fine. Scale color, that's okay. Solve forces and velocity, that's also all right. Okay, so now we got to make it actually look, we got to make it align. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enable fixed bounds. I'm going to turn this on. And we're going to bump up some of these values here. I'm going to do -2400, -2500, -4500. Then here I'm going to do 2400, 2500, 2500. We can always come in and change these around. Might need to, but these are just the values I was messing with. Now here in the sprite renderer, let's do velocity aligned. So now it's starting to look, now that like basically lines it up. See, I don't know if you can see it, but the particles are now aligned with the ground. And come back to the size here so you can see it. So if I do like 5 by 5, it's now coming down. don't know if you can see that. There we go, much bigger. So it's coming down now. 15 by 150, oops. Okay, so this isn't done, but I want to see it in the level, right? So what we need to do is in our rain folder, we need to right click, FX, and now Niagara system, new system from selected emitters. So now our rain emitter pops up here. We add it and then finish. Now I'm gonna call this, what do we even call it? Niagara rain, I don't know. So yes, so now you can start adding all these different emitters. If you like, you can have like a splash emitter so it hits the ground and splashes, but I was trying to figure that out and I couldn't figure it out because of the collision settings. Like I just don't know how to get the collision settings to work, because you can make it so when it collides, or at least in the older versions, you can make it so when it would collide with the ground, you can like kill it and then add an event here on the splash, and the splash would play when the emitter would be killed or something like that. But that might not be the right way, so I don't know. Anyway, so let's come to this guy here. This is the same emitter that we made here. But I believe if you make changes here, I don't think it affects this guy here. So I'm going to make the changes here actually. I'm going to come back and do the size here. Do 1 by 25. I'm going to save it. And then the spawn rate, I'm going to bump this up to something like 10,000. So we have a lot. Should update here. So now this red one's what you drag into the world. Okay. This is the one you drag into the world. Now what I want to do is, I don't think this fixed bounds is actually the way to do it. I just put these numbers in just to see. There's this sphere radius that we can play with here. So what you can do, so this is the thing, there's two ways you could do this now. The rain as it is now is good if you attach it to the player, so it follows the player around and it looks like it's raining all the time. But if you want like localized rain where it's just in an area, then what I would do is you would take the rain and you would bump it up. Where's the sphere? So if you want localized, you go like this. You go like 2500 on the sphere radius. You can see it's much more, but it's more spread out though too. So what you have to do now, because it's so spread out, is you'd have to really bump up these numbers here. The spawn rate, you might want to do like 50,000, which is a massive amount of particles. Hopefully your FPS doesn't die. Looks good. So now when I play, let me do full screen here. Stat FPS, still getting 120 FPS while while recording as well. So it's actually okay. But like to really get like a downpour, I think the best way to do a downpour would be to attach the particle to the player. So let's say, let me get out of this. Let's say we have this Niagara rain. I'm gonna duplicate it and let's just do rain like attached. So in here, in the attached one, I think if I edit the sphere, let's put this back down to 500. I think it doesn't affect the one here. Yeah, see, still 2500 in this other one. So when you edit the actual Niagara system emitters that are in here, it doesn't affect the main emitter that you made. So in the rain attached here, I'll set the sphere back to 500. This makes it way more condensed. And then now on, let's just look at it in the editor really quick. You can see it's like a lot more, it's way more condensed, a lot more going on just in that area. So I can actually take that, and in the character, I can open them up here. And then in component, right here, it says Niagara particle system. I can just take that attached rain and then just plug it in to the guy, and it looks insane. Let's really quickly come to the viewport here. Oh, it's attached to the cone for some reason. You don't have that, but for whatever reason I do. Let me just reset its rotation. There we go. Make sure it's attached to the capsule component here. So now when I play, the rain's actually following me around. You can't really tell, but it's following me around. If I press F8 and get out, you can see it's on the player here. What happens if I undo? Do I freeze the engine and crash? I do. Sweet. Well, Niagara is obviously still bugged. But yeah, guys, so that is Niagara. Unfortunately, I crashed the editor, but hopefully you were able to make a cool little rain effect there. And any questions, just put them in the comments. I'm not, like I said, I'm not like a special effects guy, but I just wanted to show you a quick way to make rain in Niagara. So I hope you like this tutorial. You know, I have a lot of other tutorials on my channel, more coming soon, almost every day. So hit that subscribe button, keep coming back to the channel, and I will talk to you later.